also, there's a version for the athletic directors, sports back AD, and that can be printed out in a calendar form instead of a master schedule form, that transplanted over.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting September 3rd, 2013?
I'll make the motion.
Rick?
I'll second it.
Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Can I have a motion to accept the following warrants on file in the business office and review and recommended for payment by the claims auditor?
So move, Red.
Reg?
I'll second.
Jerry? Comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Can I have a motion to approve the claims audit report dated September 4th, 2013 as presented on file in the business office?
Yes.
I'll move.
Tom W. and Terry? Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Can I have a motion to approve the reading of the EK wellness policy as presented on file in the main office?
So move, Red.
Reg?
I'll second.
Rick? Comments or questions?
Is this a first reading?
Yes.
So we're gonna do this again?
And so the changes are the ones that are highlighted in green?
Yes.
I guess the only,
It was done by the committee, a group of people here from school.
The only question I had was it referenced appendix X, and it wasn't attached, I don't think.
Yeah, appendix X was just a blank number, it was
Okay.
later on, so that's one that may have been overlooked, we can get that for them.
that will be included in the final reading?
How about appendix A?
Whatever you-
What do, I think it was stored on Lori's computer, so we can get that added in there. as well.
Yeah, the only thing I would recommend is having all the appendixes included in the final reading,
Right.
so we can.
We can do
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. A motion to approve the form for policy 6130F, disclosure of APPR data as presented on file in district office. Joe?
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
Is this it's basically legally required by the state of New York, so if any,
No, it's what, districts and, well, BOCES and the districts that got together created and had to check legally so that it meets the APPR, but they want a standard set of how people could ask and how they get the score, so it's not just willy-nilly random.
Right. So just basically if you're somebody available for parents of,
Only parent for that child in that teacher in that grade group. But it's the procedure how to go through.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Can I have a motion to approve the participation in or incur the expense for a dinner meeting with New York State Commissioner of Education, Dr. John King Jr.?
I'll move.
Terry?
second road.
Reggie? Discussion or question?
Is this the one on Malone?
Third is that.
Third.
No, it's not. This is totally new and different. This is with the commissioner himself.
It's in Watertown.
It's actually, it was originally offered for the Watertown BOCES, and I think they didn't get as big of a turnout as they had hoped, so they invited Torrance County.
What's the expense for the dinner?
$33 a person.
Does anybody feel inclined to go?
I would love to go, but I'm not able to.
What's the date?
It's October 3rd, they're gonna talk about the Regents Reform, Common Core, and it's, I mean, obviously the Commissioner of Education himself. We need to have by the 20th, so if anybody looks at the calendar and wants to go, just give Kay a call.
So this motion is to approve the
Authorization additional
nothing
payment.
expense, so if anybody wants to go, so. All in favor? Any opposed to that? Okay, that motion is carried. A motion was made to, or can I have a motion to approve the final reading of the superintendent's evaluation for the 2013-2014 school year? Rick?
Second, Chris?
Chris?
That's the evaluation.
Questions and comments? That was evaluation from,
Yeah, full circle,
yes,
yeah.
any questions, comments? Ms. Kelly, do you have any issues or questions? Anybody, nobody? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Can I have a motion to increase the substitute pay rates listed below for the corresponding areas effective 9/11/2013?
I'll move.
Tom?
I'll second.
Terry? Questions or discussion?
This is as per the contract.
No, it's not contractual, it's substitute, so it's not union.
It's not in the contract.
No, if, we had talked about back in July when we did the reconfiguration meeting, I think Tom Marsh asked what was the pay across the county, so we did a survey. I provided that last meeting, and then those three were not within average norm. So I spoke to their three people, John, Kathy, and Frank, showed it to them, they were all in favor, so.
And so the rates shown are at the average rate for the.
Just as we were just came in the survey.
Okay, what was it before?
Yeah, they were here before, years that they're actually.
Shows both. Do you have anyone? Oh, okay.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Superintendent, principal reports time?
Anybody have any questions? I shared what I create and use with the 712 staff for calendar. I'm certainly sure you may want to like additional information, just tell me what it is you'd like to have me submit. when we
What is
have
it you did?
Did you get you should have received an email from
I did, but I couldn't read anything out of it.
Oh, okay.
You
If
couldn't open it, or you didn't understand it?
I opened her email, but I couldn't find any calendar.
you have, do you have a Google account, Tom?
Two of them.
Okay, so it should have worked nicely. As soon as you got the email, you would have clicked on it and it would have triggered opening up Google Calendar. Maybe we need to, if you don't mind tonight, if we have a few minutes at the end, I can try to make sure. I can share it again and see if that works. If not,
Can we go to the homepage and get it also? Or-
no, because it's only, you can only get it if I share it.
Alright.
So it's only information that I share with the 712 staff. Parents, students don't have access to it. So it includes all sorts of information that probably is more relevant than what, my personal calendar might be. Has the information, especially faculty meetings, topics, you can click on links and see some of the topics that are discussed. And also identifies important dates coming up, things like that. And if
Okay,
anybody's
did-
interested, we can try to figure this
Did
out.
anybody open the calendar and look at it?
That's it.
Huh?
I looked at it.
You looked at it?
And that's one of the pictures and all that stuff on there. Is that the one?
No, it wouldn't have
Pardon?
My wife couldn't get it to open up either.
Okay, I want to.
All right, well, let's
Why don't you
get on
pull it up,
computers.
pop it up, why, and then we can move on to something else?
Sounds good.
If anybody has questions for the other Amy, you should just pull it up and show it.
How was your almost first week of school?
Say that again?
Your almost first full week of school?
Great. Was very good, very good. Thank you for asking.
Anybody have questions on Amy's? Maggie's? Okay, while she's doing that, I'll just take a couple of minutes. One of the things, I had a letter that was from Frank Barney, and I'm gonna have Becky speak to it. Frank wanted to be able to create, a trust fund, so to speak, from monies that he's getting. We transport a governor student to and from Rome, and he plans on creating a replacement bus fund.
It would be a reserve, actually. I had approached Frank about this, to see if he'd heard of it. Last year, before we realized the situation of everything. Last year, we were over the 4% of our limit of what we could keep in unfunded reserves. This year is not the case, we're gonna be under. So I said, well, maybe if we had access, we could create a bus fund reserve. They have changed, however, usually, before it used to be, you buy a bus, you get the funding the next year. So you have a reserve, you fund it for the first year, next year you buy 3 buses, it's paying for itself back. And it would just keep going, it would prevent bonding, it would save a lot of money. In the long run, if you could establish that initial reserve. Now it's 5 years. So it really doesn't matter how you pay for it. You're gonna get it back over 5 years. To create that reserve, it would be taking away from your available fund balance. Now, I don't think that's the best idea. It is the option, but also, I mean, the bus is $100,000. If we create a reserve of $20,000, it's not gonna help us buy a bus. So, and the idea is good, I don't think the logistics of it are available right now. We would still need the approval of the public to buy the bus. It's just tying up money that if we need to use, we're not gonna be able to use except for the bus.
Have you talked with Frank about that? Does he understand that?
No, I was gonna talk to him today and I apologize. It was,
No, that money currently just goes into our fund balance.
yeah,
So it
our
goes into
reserve,
general.
our reserve.
So it's not a windfall by any means, but it's just reallocating where it goes.
Yes.
Okay. So where it goes now, we can use it for whatever is
Or
appropriate.
whatever.
Okay.
Well, if
Now,
that reserve fund was above 4%, this might be a good idea.
this would be a good idea, especially if it was the year, if it took a year to pay back. That's what a lot of schools used to do, and it was a great system, of course. Nobody really likes a great system, so they always have to come change.
Sounds like we shouldn't do it this year.
No, and if we decide to do that, we can look at it at budget season. I mean, it's not completely off the table, but I mean, right now, I don't think we should make that decision.
Need a motion for that?
No, I just was bringing it because Frank had written me a letter and asked that I bring it forward, and I didn't recommend, in fact, we didn't recommend it, but we wanted you folks to know why before we met with Frank.
So you think most likely we will not. Okay.
Another issue that came up, we have several buses this year that have maximums, almost maximum students. We have a bus with 61, and they have a capacity of 65 to 66. 56, 55, 57, 61, 59, 58, 58, 60, 59, 54, 54. And the majority of those buses are Russell buses, which is a positive thing to say that we're increasing students from the Russell end. However, we're running into the problem, for example, when a mother decided she wanted her 4 children to ride a different bus home, we couldn't put them on the bus because we didn't have 4 spots to sit children in. So we either have to talk about, and things might fix themselves, right themselves after a couple of weeks. Students might start driving, other students might start going to other students. But we do right now have the problem. We either have to say on certain buses we cannot accept bus letters, which would be obviously for emergency situations or any situation as well as birthday parties, or we should consider the possibility of putting another bus route on, which would divide up some of the Russell runs.
Can you repeat what you just said?
Put another bus run into the system, which would, cost us a bus driver, benefits, all of those things. But at this point, we cannot put extra students from one run to another. And we probably get anywhere from 20, that's probably an exaggeration, anywhere from 15 to 40 letters a day, depending on birthday parties. Fridays are always big days when people want their kids to switch. But we have many parents that go to mom's house Monday, Tuesday, dad's house Wednesday, Thursday, grandma's Friday. And that's a pretty perpetual thing. Some have permanent agendas, some do it by the day. So before we get into a major problem, I'm putting it out here just to let you folks know that it may right itself, it may not. So we need to either look at, do we add another run, or do we say we don't accept, letters to go from one bus to the next?
Are they having the after-school program?
That hasn't started yet, September 17th. And that could help some of this also, because most, I mean, for the most part, not always, most of the runs are usually night runs, it could change, but it can happen the other way too.
Plus sports, they must be,
But the sports are up and running already, so
Some of
that's
them-
already,
but the numbers are still there with the sports running.
they, I mean, at this point, Frank's starting to do a count now, but we had a parent very angry because her 4 children could not be put on another bus. And it's just a, I mean, again, we're talking about the first 2 days of school, it was crazy and chaotic at best.
For what reason would a parent want to put their students on a different bus than what they're being offered to?
Because they were going to a grandparent's house instead of their home, and grandparent lives in the district, and mom was going to be home that evening.
Can we wait till the next meeting to see if that's 17th?
Yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there to let people know that this is a real concern, and we've had some angry, you know, sometimes rightfully so. I mean, when you call and say, we can't do that. And
So have you done a study to see where you can split off another bus now?
yes, Frank has.
You have?
He already looked at that. The problem is, of course, that you have other buses with 34 kids, 35 kids. I mean, but it's truly the Russell end that we have really boosted our numbers. So, just to let you know, but if there's concerns or complaints, that's where it's going.
If we had to add another run, would we have the bus
24th.
available to use?
Yes.
We have a bus because we'll have to pull one of our buses off, you know, a spare.
Okay.
But then we would have, you know, we'll have to appoint a driver, go through that whole process.
Do we have a part-time bus driver that we would move into a full-time bus position if it came to this? Or how would that work?
Probably, yes.
We have 4 spare buses, right?
We have 3 spare
3
buses.
spare buses.
I have to look. I want to say 3 because I think we traded before, but I'm not sure. I think we have 3, but I'll check and let you know for sure.
What are the numbers in the elementary and high school? Up and down?
Oh gosh, I can't give you a total, I can give you a total count, just take me a second to look that up.
Do you have any in the elementary?
2 weeks ago, I had reported we had gotten 23 new students. And that was before school opened. And I know we have gotten more since school has opened.
We've had some folks who left, so,
Right.
yeah, probably right around 20, plus 20.
You want the total?
I just want to know if it was up or down, or
We're up in high school, but not by much.
how about the grade that we had hired a new teacher for? How did they balance it?
It's at 18, 18, 18.
Is that high?
Yeah, although one, I think actually one class is 19 now. Yeah, so that was a good move because any change there is buffered.
Angie, do you want to explain your?
Okay.
Are you voting on school or do you want me to?
I was.
Okay,
Okay, so let me just address, this is what I create for the staff. This is updated daily by week. For instance, this past Monday we had a picture day, so, you know, if the staff puts on this, it tells them that, you know, seniors need to come down to 7:45 to 8 o'clock. You know, each little link has something. Star testing on Wednesday from 7:50 to 8:20 in the quarry. You know, I'll be reviewing the handbook with the 10th graders from this time. Over here would be reminders. You know, don't forget to turn in your course outlines myself. So this is just what I use. You can see that I update this, the entire year is on here, and as we go through, you know, next week we have this new roadshow coming up, who has detention, any kind of staff development is listed here. I'm trying to think, board meetings, emergency subcover sheets, but if you click through this, it pretty much tells you the whole year. So this is how I communicate and keep information current with staff.
Staff looks at this daily or should, or?
I would assume most staff probably does, or any, yeah, occasionally. There might be some people that maybe aren't as interested in the computer calendar, but I also make them probably every other week, a paper copy with a little different format in it, but having the same general information in there. So it's just this will allow you to see, you know, for instance, let me get back to this month, you know, open house, 6 to 8, next Thursday night.
Looks like Outlook,
We don't have Outlook, but yeah, this is, you know, same way that you know, this is, you know, same same thing. Hold on, come up. So it just gives them a way to see. A lot of times if I'm going to be out, I'll put that on there as well, so they'll know if I'm going to be out of the building for the day. So this was what I hoped that you would be able to see.
Yeah.
That did work for some people. I'm certainly more than happy, if you have time tonight, to, if you have a Google account, we can get on and I can share it with you again so that you'll have access to it. If this is the format that you like, if this is not what you're looking for, then certainly give me some feedback and I can make an adjustment.
So every time we want to get on here, we just gotta click on the link from your email?
Yeah.
We have to save your email then.
Actually, no, Randy, because I think if I share it with you, if you don't already have a Google Calendar, which some of you may not, if you did have, let me start with, if you do have a Google Calendar, it should appear under here, like you can see all the different calendars that I have made up. But if you don't, you may have to go back, I'm not
You
confident.
can save it on your toolbar.
You
Well,
gotta bookmark it or something?
yes,
Bookmark it.
yeah, you can probably bookmark it, put it right up there. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with using it, so I don't know how to, if you don't have it already, I'll have to play around with that and let you know.
I'm wondering if it's under my calendar, I can create a new calendar, where they create this as a new calendar maybe or something.
The detention on tonight's a week.
Actually, if you do that, that'll create a new calendar, and you can add your own stuff here. So it sure go
But
ready.
if that's wrong, it's usually.
I'm just wondering why I'm not in my.
I know, how to access it. Let me play around with it so I can get back to you guys and let you know. I haven't had that situation occur yet, but I certainly can find out.
The only other thing I had real quick, we were supposed to have our first bus evacuation drill today, and unfortunately due to the torrential downpour, we did not have it. It is postponed until I think probably Thursday, since it's supposed to rain again tomorrow morning. But we did manage to eke in one fire drill today, so everybody knows there'll be more this week.
Amy, on the teachers, how did, no mental names, but how did they fare? Were they, was there any disconnect between the teachers about their evaluations?
Oh, how did the teachers fare in their evaluations?
Yeah.
In the elementary school, they fared well.
Very well. So, that's good. In high school, they first too? How did they fare?
Same. Yep, I think most people were pleased, probably some more than others, but, again, it's an adjustment as we work through some system.
I'm done, sir.
Okay. I figured it out.
Good. Good.
That's it, thank you, Mike. Are we ready to go into executive session?
I have a small
Oh, I'm sorry.
announcement.
Yeah.
ERS for next year, the non-teachers, the state retirement is predicted to go down from 20.9 to 20.1. However, wages will go up, so it'll probably absorb that, but that is somewhat a small sliver of good news. So hopefully that continues.
596 students K-12, so I'll look up per building.
So if anyone's interested, if you have a Google account, or a Gmail account already, if you just enter Google on your, what's that thing called, that toolbar, or the www.bar, address bar. Just enter Google, it'll go to the Google page, and across the top of the page, you can go to Gmail, you can go to Maps, you can go to Calendar. If you go to Calendar, just sign in on your member Google account, goes right up.
See, I got the pictures and all that stuff, I just pushed
When Amy said 596, I don't think she included pre-K.
Well, I'm not sure because it does say all.
Because pre-K in all its forms is included under all.
So that's how you do it.
So you can do that, we can do that at home?
You want the IT?
I did it. Yeah,
It does say pre-K. Yeah, because I
Okay.
have here's some pre-K.
Okay, take that back, it's 596.
Thanks, Randy, for figuring out, take that off my list, thank you.
What was it last year?
585 to finish.
And we still probably have more in the next week or two.
Elementary 327.
They tend to move just before the
They do.
winter sets in.
There's definitely a few who've left who were just waiting to welcome back in. So,
Can I have a motion to enter an executive session to discuss collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law, the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation?
I will move.
Terry?
Second that.
Rick? All in favor?
Aye.
We enter executive session at 7:23.